So the big question is when it says based on a true story, no woman, no cry, right? What is that true story? I'm gonna kind of be open about it, you know, for one of the first times in a long time, or maybe for the first time. I never really spoke up when it came to like the closing of the studio and how much it really affected me, and not only just myself, but my community, my staff members, my community. It really did hurt me a lot to see it. You know, obviously COVID, a flood, our second flood. There was a lot of things that happened in that short period of time, and I felt like I needed to do. I felt it wasn't right if I just left out of that studio and didn't really create something for it, right? So this is an honor and memory of the studio, that time in my life that has kind of inspired me to do bigger and better things in what I'm doing now currently. So when you look at this video, there's gonna be a lot of like, you know, things going on. Just know that there was a dark side and there was a bright side to everything. And I know that right now I'm just, you know, taking it one day at a time and kind of just moving in that direction, moving into that direction of like, there's a lot of great things ahead of me. And I'm using the energy, the love, the drive that my community has given to me to create more projects like this. So I'm very blessed to have had that studio with my brother, shout out to Babyface Brian, and have an amazing community and amazing staff. And I felt like this was a project that I wanted to kind of like put a stamp on it, and if anything, closing that chapter. So where did the inspiration come from this video? So honestly, it came from several different places. One of the first places it came from was just me just saying to myself, I want to do another project, right? The last project I worked with two great dancers, Eli and Jasper, shout out to them. Those guys pushed me to kind of creatively get that project going, but this time around, I felt like it was time for me to do another one and kind of like tap into a different side of me as a creative director. Another place where inspiration came from was two young ladies I did a private lesson for. I trained them, I teach them all various different styles of dance, but in this session, I was like, look, I wanted to actually dance to this song, and they were very receptive to it. From there, I took that same exact choreography. I went to one of my dance classes, and my students are always very receptive to the choreography that I put on them. The young ladies in the video, the cast, they were actually in class. They easily gravitated over to the choreography and said, hey, Paul, like this is something different. You should probably, you know, put it out there. And I think the last thing is that I love Black Panther, the movie, right? And I love just what Black Panther, the movie, stands for. It stands for a lot of great things. And I think that it's a lot of richness in it, it's a lot of struggle in there. And I felt like I wanted myself, if I had to choreograph for that movie, this is what it would feel like. How was it working with the cast, right? These young ladies, first off, shout out to these four young ladies in the video. You know, when they came to class, they came in there thinking I was gonna be hitting them with some Cardi B, some Drake, some Chris Brown. And when I did the choreography, they were like, why are we sitting on the floor? And I was like, that's how the choreography starts off. So they were very surprised when they saw the choreography. But then after everything was done and we actually were leaving out of class, they pulled me to the side and said, Paul, where did this come from? And I kind of gave them a story about like the inspiration of the studio and like how the studio really meant the world to me. And I know that it was a time in my life where, you know, I went through a lot, you know, in that transition of leaving out of the studio. And these girls said, look, if you want to kind of bring this visual to life, we're here for you. So working with them from the top to bottom has been an amazing experience. I feel like these girls also challenged me to tap into like the emotional side of things, because I don't really do that as much. Also with these girls, I felt like one thing they did was hold me accountable, especially when we had our late night rehearsals, right? Because those late night rehearsals, these girls were coming back from like taking class in the city, working, training, doing the things that they do. And then when they would come to the rehearsal room at like, you know, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, we'll start our rehearsals, you know, I'm in the corner passing out, you know, and they're like, Paul, wake up. So it was a fun experience working with them, and it's really just vibing off of them, and it's really feeling their energy. So the video, the best way to find it is by going to my website at www.pressplaymotivation.com or checking it out on any one of my social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram at Press Play Motivation. So make sure you go to any one of those platforms, go check out the video, support, like, comment, and share. Tag the whole movement, Marvel Studios, Black Panther, tag everyone, like, comment, and share. Thank you guys for the support.